More than 3.7 million Australian homes have rooftop solar. That's the highest household uptake of solar in the world. And every one of those homes carries a question its owners have asked at least once. What happens if my solar panels catch fire? In the next 10 minutes, you'll get the real answer. What actually starts these fires? Why your roof stays electrically live even when the main switch is off? And the three things every PV owner should be doing. And the three things they absolutely shouldn't. Here is the fact most homeowners do not know. The DC side of your solar system stays electrically live whenever sunlight hits the panels. Turning off the main switch in your meter box stops the AC side. The inverter shuts down, but the rooftop panels keep producing voltage. A typical residential string runs at 300 to 600 volts of direct current. That's enough to kill, enough to start a fire, and there is no off switch on the roof itself. The only way to truly de energize a rooftop array is to physically disconnect it at the DC isolator, or to cover the panels completely. On the AC side of your home, voltage crosses 0 100 times every second. Any arc that starts is naturally interrupted. On the DC side of a solar system, the voltage is constant. A loose connector, a damaged cable, a corroded terminal, once an arc starts there, nothing puts it out. The arc temperature can reach 3000 to 10,000 degrees Celsius right at the contact point. That's enough to ignite plastic enclosures, cable insulation, and roof structure within seconds. This is the real fire mechanism, not the panels themselves, but the connections that carry their power. Every solar panel connects to the next using a small plastic plug called an MC4 connector, or one of its compatible cousins. There are dozens of brands. They all look interchangeable, but they are not. The contact geometry varies between manufacturers, and plugging different brands together creates micro gaps. Add a poor crimp on the cable inside, water ingress through an unsealed plug, 8 to 15 years of UV exposure breaking down the seal, and that connector starts to arc, quietly at first, then progressively hotter, then ignition. The UK BRE study of 80 PV fires found that about three quarters of them traced back to a DC connector or DC isolator fault. Here's a story that every Australian PV owner should know. In 2012, AS 5033 made it mandatory to install a DC isolator on the roof, right next to the panels. The intent was firefighter safety, give them a switch to throw before approaching the array. But these isolators were sitting on the roof, in the rain, baking in the sun, year after year. Many cheap units had inadequate weather sealing. Water got in. Internal corrosion shorted the contacts. Fires started inside the isolator enclosure, then spread to the roof structure. The ACCC issued multiple mandatory recalls, hundreds of thousands of units. In 2021, Standards Australia removed the rooftop DC isolator requirement from the standard. The fire safety device had become the leading fire ignition source. Three independent studies from three different countries, same finding. The UK BRE Trust reviewed 80 PV fires. About 75% traced to DC connectors or isolators. Germany's Fraunhofer Institute and TÜV Rheinland looked at 210 incidents. Installation faults dominated, panel internal faults under 5%. Australia's incident reporting through the Clean Energy Regulator and the State Safety Regulator shows the same pattern. The panels themselves are not the problem. They are remarkably reliable. The wiring, the connectors, the isolators, and the workmanship, that's where fires start. About 1 to 3 fires per 10,000 systems per year internationally. Low but not zero and not random. When the fire brigade arrives at a house with rooftop PV, their procedure is different. Australian Fire Services train for it. Operational Guideline OPS 0.18 from Fire and Rescue. New South Wales sets out the response. First, assume the array is energized. Always. Second, avoid spraying water directly onto an energized array if it can be helped, because high pressure water onto a 600 volt DC system creates a return path through the firefighter. Third, approach from gable ends, not under PV covered roof slopes. Fourth, Use thermal imaging to spot failed isolators or panel hotspots before approaching. The point, the fire response itself is constrained by the system being live, even when your house is on fire. Here is the practical issue facing Australia right now. Roughly half the rooftop solar systems in the country were installed between 2012 and 2020. That entire installation cohort was required to have a rooftop DC isolator. Those isolators are now between 5 and 13 years old. Many were cheap units, exposed to weather, never inspected. The recall list from the ACCC covers some of them, but not all. If your system was installed during that period, the rooftop DC isolator on your roof is the single highest priority component to have inspected. Not the panels, not the inverter, the isolator. Beyond the isolator and connectors, what else fails? 1. Junction box delamination on older panels. The plastic junction box on the back of a panel can separate from the laminate over time, exposing wiring. 2. Micro cracks in cells creating local hot spots, sometimes called PID, potential induced degradation. 3. Bird damage. Cockatoos chew through cable insulation. We've seen it. 4. Undersized fuses or DC isolators rated below the actual array voltage and current. 5. Cable runs in roof spaces that are too close to insulation, with no ventilation. 6. Inverter ground fault and arc fault detectors that have been disabled because they trip too often. That last one is a self inflicted wound. The direction the regulations are heading. The United States now requires module level rapid shutdown, meaning each panel can be electrically isolated at the panel itself, dropping the array voltage to a safe level within 30 seconds. The European Union is moving similarly. As 5033 doesn't yet require module level shutdown for new domestic systems. But the trajectory is clear. Within 5 to 10 years, expect Australian PV installations to need rapid shutdown built in. If you're installing today, asking your installer about module level shutdown isn't paranoid, it's future proofing. What you should actually do: 1. Get an annual visual inspection. Most CEC accredited installers offer it. 2. If your system was installed before 2021, prioritize the rooftop DC isolator inspection, specifically that. 3. After any significant storm, hail, or roof work, get connectors and mountings checked. 4. Never ignore inverter alarms. Modern inverters detect ground faults and arc faults. If yours is alarming, get it looked at, not bypassed. 5. Disclose the system to your home insurer. Premium implications are usually small, but non disclosure can void cover. 6. Only use CEC accredited installers. The cheapest install is often the most expensive. 7. In a fire, get out, call 000, tell the operator the house has rooftop solar, and do not climb the roof to switch anything off. 3 things to take away. 1. Your roof has no off switch. The DC side stays live whenever there's daylight. The AC main does not de-energize the panels. 2. The connectors and isolators cause the fires, not the panels themselves. About 3/4 of PV fires trace to them. 3. If your system was installed between 2012 and 2020, get the rooftop DC isolator inspected specifically. It is the highest priority component you have. Solar is a remarkable technology. The panels last 25 years. The wiring and connections need attention much sooner than that. Look after them. Thanks for watching Fire Toolbox. If you want more fire engineering content, hit subscribe and check out my other videos on the channel.